Alrighty then. I'm going to say this. Yes, my name is Gloria Moraga. This is Political News Live. Yeah, I was live earlier, but I wanted to get all my videos together and come back live. I've got to move this over a little bit. Thanks for being here. I appreciate you. Thanks for supporting my channel. Please subscribe. Okay, all of that said, we've got some news here. It's you see the big red. This is the Guardian website. And I will take a moment as people are joining to say that if you hear noise in the background, it's my dog. It is my dog, and what happened was the cats can open the cupboard. And the cats got in the cupboard and knocked over their treats, the cat treats. And the dog now has the cat treats, the lid's off, and he's walking around with the cat treats in his mouth. So that's what's going on at my house. And the dog is very proud of himself for having the cat treats. So let's get to it as I'm kind of staggering around and bumbling around and waiting for people to join. But I was putting my videos in OBS, and I noticed that there was a big red banner on a couple of sites, and this was the news. Middle East crisis live. Strike reportedly injures 12 American soldiers at U.S. base in Saudi. And then the next line is Rubio expects war to end in weeks. I have that coming up. Iran kept firing missiles at Israel and Gulf nations, including a strike at a military base in Saudi Arabia that wounded U.S. service members. And there's more on Rubio. So I'm going to go to the New York Times, and here's their headline. 12 U.S. troops injured in attack on Saudi base. Now, some websites are reporting that only 10 U.S. troops were injured. We don't know how serious the injuries are, but we do know that some U.S. soldiers have been hurt. They were based in Saudi Arabia at this base. So that's the latest that I wanted to share with you. That's kind of the breaking news. I'll look at this one new update. Let's see. Sometimes they take you to a nonsensical story that, not nonsensical, but a story that doesn't have anything to do with it. No, yeah, so that has nothing to do with Americans being hurt. It's about Iran. And we've known this for a while, that Iran is letting some oil tankers pass through. Now, here's a clip, and I'm not quite sure. Oh, this is Thailand. Okay, well, I guess we need to stop complaining because I'm out of gas and I've got to get gas in my little car. It is not a gas guzzler at all. And gas, the last time I gassed up, gas was $3 and I don't know, 69 cents or something a gallon. Today, when I drove by like 3 or 4 gas stations, it's $8 a gallon plus. But here is Thailand. Thailand, look, diesel is 43.49 a gallon. So what the hell do I have to complain about? Because this is happening all over the world with Trump Netanyahu's war. But the lead story and the story that I wanted to share with you was this headline: Iran war, live updates, 12 U.S. troops injured in attack on Saudi base. And there's a reason that Iran is attacking bases, U.S. bases all over the Gulf. It's because of what Israel is doing and what we have done in the last 48 hours or so. And I'll just read before I get off this. 2 of the Americans were seriously wounded in the strike on the Prince Sultan Air Base, the official said, in one of the most serious breaches of American defenses since the war began in 2028. So 12 injured. I've reading in other sites that 10 were injured, but more sites have 12 U.S. troops injured and 2 seriously. And here is, I'm just going to go to Al Jazeera Live because they are doing live updates. So I was looking and waiting for an update. Sorry, I'll just kind of try to get rid of the ads. I'm waiting. I've got my television on over here. So if you see me glancing that way, it's not because I'm ignoring you. It's because I'm checking this out. So the war is without a doubt really raging. Okay, the whole I'm not even going to quote Trump, but let me take you to I've got these listed as first video and second video. Let me just take you to the first one. All right, the reason that I put that video up as video number 1 in my feed here of videos I'm going to play is because this just happened. We bombed, the United States or Israel bombed, we're bombing cities in Iran. So that one was in Tehran, and then there was one in a city right near Tehran. So, we're bombing cities. And some of the cities are near some infrastructure that Israel and the United States want to hit. And these are here, if you see right here on the Gulf states of Kuwait, American, Arab Emirates, and others are being hit by Iran because Israel bombed near some nuclear sites, near a manufacturing site, and here's that video. Now, this was near an Iranian manufacturing plant, and it was right near, it's nuclear. It's not a nuclear bomb site. It's a nuclear energy site. So that is just one of the reasons Iran is striking back, and here they have it up. Saudi Arabia missile launch towards Saudi Arabia. Drones targeted an airport in Kuwait. No casualties. I don't know. That seems like it's older, and it may be, but it's Kuwait, United Arab Emirates, Saudi Arabia, all say that Iran has launched missiles and drones. 5 injured in Abu Dhabi after debris fell from missile interception. So some of the missiles from Iran are being intercepted, but the debris is obviously falling down and injuring civilians. And you just see the ticker, and it's going on and on. This is the whole war has spiraled out of certainly U.S. control in one. I'm just speaking about one instance here. God, yeah, this boat was attacked too because Iran told them to turn back, and they didn't. But you saw at the beginning of the live feed how high gas prices are in some other countries. But this is Israel and Lebanon. Israel has now taken over a part of Lebanon. They did launch their ground initiative. Why are we, the United States, involved in this now attacks on a whole nother country? And it gets worse. So here's the Israeli. Now, this happened the other day, and this is the U.S. attacking some people in Iraq. Yeah, I said Iraq. I remember reading about it, but apparently now there's video of it. And Iraq is really angry and says that this attack in Iraq, and apparently, according to somebody, and I can find it if you guys need it, there were terrorists there or something. So we were targeting terrorists who are fighting for Iran. But isn't this how just it happens, right? This is how it expands. So now we're bombing other countries, and they bombed near a hospital. The United States, bombed near a hospital. And so the Iraqis are really up in arms. And this actually, I put second video on this. So here's a clip. Turning it down a little bit because you can still tell what it is. The other day I got a strike. I didn't get a strike, but YouTube warned me that some of this audio is not acceptable because I'm like violating somebody's, copyright. But then I got a note saying it's okay to use the sound. So here's this guy. Blatant, serious violation of international law that we attacked Iraq. So they're saying that we violated a treaty that we had with Iraq after the whole Bush war with Iraq, and that now Iraq has the right to respond against pro-Iranian armed groups. So the United States has said, we did it. We did it, but we were only doing it to get these guys. But in the meantime, we violated a treaty that we had for years. Man, who's in charge of this shit? I was going to say shit show, but So that's what's going on. And yeah, I saw some of this earlier about Cuba, and the United States blockading Cuba. So yeah, we have some sound, or I do. I don't know who we is. Have some sound from Marco Rubio, who's kind of been quiet. Have you noticed? And apparently Trump got mad at J.D. Vance because he said J.D. Vance has been too quiet. And it's like, I kind of think that everybody talks or responds when Trump wants them to respond. So if J.D. Vance isn't talking, it's because Trump doesn't want him to talk. And if Marco Rubio isn't talking, it's because Trump doesn't want him to talk. But now J.D. Vance has said some stuff, but I don't have any sound. I think he said something yesterday when I was out all day. But I've got Marco. Let's play Trump, though. This is Trump from early today, and then I have Trump from tonight. Trump early today, here's what they've done. They've taken out their anti-immigrant talking points. So I guess the talking points were distributed yesterday because they all came out with the same talking points today. So MAGA Mike and Thune and others, all the suck-ups that don't have a backbone, were saying the same thing. They were talking about how immigrants kill Americans. And then, of course, Democrats, for the first time ever, came out with their talking points of, no, ICE is killing Americans. And it's like, okay, you know what, dudes? You just need to find a freaking compromise. First of all, I mean, I was live earlier. ICE is funded. There's no, it's like when I hear these people talk about ICE hasn't been funded and it's because you want anybody to come in and murder Americans. It's like, dude, calm down. Somebody asked earlier if I was on, that I need to take drugs and calm down. It's like, it's just because it's infuriating. Because ICE has been funded for 4 years. ICE has tons of money, a lot of money. Homeland Security was, I think, funded more than the Pentagon. And the Pentagon's funded by a lot. Meantime, we're going broke, the country. So, yeah, so everybody's got their talking points, of course, beginning with Trump. And the talking points are immigrants kill people. Immigrants are bad. Immigrants come from insane asylums. But Trump doesn't know the difference between an insane asylum and someone coming here seeking asylum. So Trump starts his soundbite going off, and he doesn't want to talk. But he does talk to the cameras real quick before he gets on the plane, and I'll tell you where he's going on the plane after the bite. He is slamming immigrants, and then I think it's pretty sure it's the Fox News dude screams out, the war, the war. So then he comes back. Here's, let me look for it. Trump early today. Here's the soundbite.
These are the worst gang members, the worst killers, the worst. They allowed the worst people. And you know why? Because the country sent them out. When they saw open borders, every country throughout the world, they sent them into a country. And we don't want that. And that's what it's all about. Thank you.
With Iran, sir. Iran. What's the latest with Iran, sir?
When will Iran...
On Iran, they are being decimated. They are talking. We are talking now. They want to make a deal. Very simply, our military is the greatest in the world by far.
They are.
Iran is being decimated. Thank you.
Yeah, Iran is being decimated. They are. There's like horrible, horrible bombing going on. But also at the same time, I'm looking for the headline. Iran is bombing military bases in surrounding areas. So 2 Americans seriously, 12 troops injured, 2 seriously. So there's that. Yeah, I mean, here's the headline from, this is from Guardian. Guardian is produced in London by Great Britain. Iran is firing missiles at Israel and Gulf nations. That's how our troops in Saudi Arabia got hit. So that was Trump earlier today. Here earlier today was Marco Rubio, who's been kind of quiet as Secretary of State, but he, says this isn't his thing. It's up to the Department of Defense, which they call the Department of War, which now we know why they changed the name to Department of War. It's like all very clear now. It was a marketing tool that they use so they could go in and start bombing little boats. And now the war. And of course, next Cuba, because Trump's promising that. Here's Marco Rubio.
As the Department of War has consistently outlined, we are on or ahead of schedule in that operation and expect to conclude it at the appropriate time here in a matter of weeks, not months. And the progress is going very well. Obviously, we have some work to do. We have to finish the job, and we are finishing that job. We are achieving all those objectives. We are ahead of schedule on most of them. and we can achieve them without any ground troops, without any.
Dude, the dude on the feed, not everybody that's an immigrant is illegal. There are many, many immigrants in this country who applied for asylum, received papers, and we're here legally. Look up the law. I'm the first to say, and I've said it for years, we need immigration reform, because I grew up on a ranch. And I didn't grow up on a ranch. My grandpa owned a ranch. I didn't grow up there, and I, as a young reporter, covered agriculture in the San Joaquin Valley. And I have stayed in touch with what's happening in agriculture all through my political reporting career. And we need farmers and growers and ranchers in this country. And they feed the nation and they feed the world. So they used to always say to me, don't ever let anybody insult a rancher or a farmer when their bellies are full, their mouth is full. And that's true. But they need guest workers. They need immigrants. There's a big story out in, not in California, in another state, that, the ranchers, the dairy farmers saying, who's going to milk my cows? Because he has nobody to milk his cows and he might go bankrupt. So, dude, they're not all illegal. So just like everyone always tells me to calm down, just calm down. Okay, so that was Marco Rubio. He says it's going to be over in weeks, not months. Still isn't going to help gas prices or the stock market. Trump has done what he can do so that his family or somebody, one of his cronies, can make millions, almost billions of dollars with the stock market speculation. And they're doing it. Right now, gas should not be $8 a gallon, but it is in California, and it will be across the nation because they're gouging us. It's billionaires and millionaires gouging us. What are we going to do? What are we going to do? They took all the incentives away for electric cars, but guess who's building electric cars out their asses? China. So that was Marco, and here's Trump. So Trump is, and I wrote it down because I wanted to make sure, Trump is at the Saudi Business Conference. The Saudi Business Conference for Saudi businessmen, Saudi billionaires who, according to reports, really want this war. So that's where he is. That's where he was tonight. No doubt getting lots of financial help for God knows who. So here is Trump. I had Trump early today. And then I have Trump, United Nations on war crimes. Oh, shit. I don't see the Trump bite. I have MAGA Mike. I have Senate Democrats. I have United Nations. I have Trump early today. Oh, I don't have Trump. I was sure that I put Trump here. Well, you'll just have to take my word for it. I'll put it up on a short. How about that? I'll do it after this. I mean, I could go try to get it. You guys want to wait while I go get it? Wait while I get it. It'll only take a second. I'm just going to go here, get Trump. You could talk amongst yourselves.
We're gathered at a moment of bold action and historic decision to make America and our allies safer and stronger, more prosperous, more successful than ever before. That's what's happening. Tonight, we're closer than ever to the rise of the Middle East that is finally free at last from Iranian terror, aggression, and nuclear blackmail. That's what's happened. It was nuclear blackmail for years and years.
Oh, All right. I got Trump for you. There he is. How'd you like him? He looks very sweaty and he looks like he's lying. All right. Lead story, lots of bombing in the Middle East. And we're bombing Iraq now. Israel's bombing Lebanon now. How is this our objective? How does this meet our objective? Oh, wait, what is our objective? So our objective is to destroy their nukes. So why are we bombing Iraq? We bombed a hospital there. And why are we bombing? Why is Israel just intent on going into Lebanon and killing people there? And I want to go to, here's Al Jazeera, and I want to go to Al Jazeera has, let me just go to the the other version, because they have this this death toll tracker, and just take a look at the attacks. You guys, look at Lebanon. We're not even supposed to be at war with Lebanon. I mean, are we? And then now, I mean, okay, 1,116 killed in Lebanon? What is that about? And now, but here's Iran, of course. And our count went up because remember, I talked about it really early in the war. There was a man who was a cop in New York and he died, but it was a non war related death. Okay. So he was sick or something and he died. They added him finally. But we've got 200 troops injured, and they're keeping a lid on where are the injured troops. Because in other wars we've seen more, but they're not. It's very hush hush because they control all the media now, except for a few. Yeah, but this is just, I don't know. Doesn't it bother you guys at all? This is why Congress needs to grow a pair and control this shit. Because there's no control. Because they're just doing whatever. Meantime, Pete Hegseth is like demoting women at the Pentagon. So let's get to other news. I'll go down here. Oh, Bannon's warning about your sons and daughters could be killed. Because they're having that Nazi CPAC conference. That's why all Congress left. We got to go on vacation. We got to go for our 2 weeks of vacation, even though there's no... and the pale writer here is saying pay TSA. I mean, DHS has money, so they can't pay. That's not a big deal. But, they're making a big deal out of it. Oh, my God, you guys. This is this is an unbelievable story. 2 sanctioned Russian guys got a tour today of the Capitol. And they were being toured and taken all over. Here's a story I wanted to share with you. I mean, this is just nasty, man. Hegseth removes 2 black and 2 female officers from a promotion list. They were up for generals. They were going to get their stars. And he demoted them. He freaking demoted them. Then, of course, there's Tiger. And I said earlier to my grandson, poor Tiger. And he said, why are you saying poor Tiger? He's driving drunk. And it's like, oh, yeah. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, you're right. So let's get to the funding. Okay. Let's get to the real fun. I want to say this. The Senate finally voted and approved funding for Homeland Security. But then, as you see here, the House rejected. And I was live with that, but they rejected the Senate bill, but then they passed their own bill. But it doesn't matter because the Senate's on vacation. So it can't go back to the Senate for a vote. But here's the early Senate vote. just want to share it.
I recognize the Majority Leader.
Thank you. I ask unanimous consent that the Senate proceed to the immediate consideration of the
very good dresser.
calendar number 311, H.R. 7147.
The clerk will report.
Calendar number 311, H.R. 7147, an act making further consolidated appropriations for the fiscal year ending September 30, 2026, and for other purposes.
Mr. President.
Is there objection to proceeding to the measure? Without objection, the Senate will proceed.
Mr. President, I ask unanimous consent that the substitute amendment at the desk be considered and agreed to. The bill is amended to be considered and read a third time.
Is there objection? Without objection.
I know of no further debate on the bill as amended.
Is there further debate? If not, questions on the passage of the bill as amended?
This is called
All in
chicken
favor, say
shit.
Aye. Aye.
Chicken
Opposed,
shit
no.
vote.
The ayes appear to have it. The ayes do have it.
Voice
The bill as
vote.
amended is passed.
Mr. President, I ask unanimous consent that the motion to reconsider be considered made and laid upon the table.
Without objection.
Okay. Got it.
So that's it. They passed it on a voice vote because they don't want it to come back and haunt them when they're running for re-election. They don't want Trump to go after them. So it was just, do you vote for it? Yeah. Nay. Oh, man. So immediately it went over to the House because they were trying to get it done for the weekend so that TSA can finally start getting paid and get relief. I don't know how long it's going to take this to go through. It might take a little bit longer. I don't know. Maybe not. But MAGA Mike was all up in arms, and he attacked immigrants for a long time. And then he read parts of the bill, and here's the bill. Here's him reading. He's such a buffoon.
That every Senate Republican read the language of this bill, and I'm going to just read you one excerpt of it because it's pretty alarming, and it says everything that you need to know in Section 4. This is on page 2 of the bill. This is an actual copy of the bill. That excerpt. It says, quote, "The contents printed under the headings of this bill, U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement and Border Security Operations, under the heading of U.S. Customs and Border Patrol and Protection, shall have no force or effect for purposes of this Act, and amounts specified in the final bill under the subheading Border Security Operations and under the heading U.S. Customs and Border Protection and under the headings of U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement and the Department of Homeland Security shall be zero." We're not doing that. And it is unconscionable to me that the Democrats would force some sort of negotiation at 3 o'clock in the morning and try to hoist this upon the American people and then get on their jets and go home for their holiday and pretend and think that we're going to go along with that. So we're going to do something different. We're going to do the responsible thing. Republicans are going to continue to govern and do the right thing morally, legally, and politically.
He holds up the bill and he reads the bill. Okay, yes. The Senate bill zeroed out funding for ICE, but temporarily. They were going to come back in 2 weeks after their vacation and after going to, the beach and come back and then work on ICE funding. But I'm going to just say it again because I just have to say it every time because it's important. ICE is already funded for the year. It's funded. So it's like they're getting paid. Nobody's being hurt. They can still go out and beat, old women and throw little children into the prisons. So the borders are secure. Farmers can't find farm workers. I mean, it's just, I don't know. I agree with sensible immigration reform, but we haven't had sensible immigration reform since George Bush tried to do it. And then 9/11 hit and it got removed. So Trump's just used this as a wedge issue. We had a good bill. Trump killed it because he wanted to win re-election. There was a good bill that a Republican wrote. So it would have done a lot of the things that they're doing now, but it would have done it legally instead of like letting people bash people over the heads and shoot Renee Good and Alex Purdy and others. They're not the only ones. There's a lot of people who've been in trouble. Uh-oh. The Hill's having a glitch, but it's probably because they're putting something up on the home page. Nope. I'm going to Al Jazeera, going to live. When I take the live, it usually has commercials. But oh no, here. So that's that. I have a Democratic soundbite on the Senate bill. And Democrats really tried to get the Senate bill. I can play a little bit of it. The other video that I have is a real bummer. Here's the Democrats talking about the Senate bill.
House Democrats have been clear from the start. We must pay TSA, Coast Guard, and FEMA and other public safety agencies while we negotiate common sense reforms for ICE. Weeks ago, we put forward legislation that would do just that and outlined a list of changes that we knew we wanted to see at ICE to make our communities safer. Republicans, Democrats held firm in our position and we never gave in. And as a result, you saw early this morning, Senate Republicans agreed with our approach. But now Speaker Johnson is calling this bipartisan agreement a joke, simply because it doesn't give more money to Trump's out-of-control ICE agency.
Yeah, I was actually reading the I was reading the ticker because I'm worried. Iran attacks on neighboring mark turning point in relations. Jeez, yeah, no kidding. I mean, I guess if you bomb us, it's gonna change our relationship. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what Trump's talking about half the time because he's very demented, but he's a liar, and the war is raging, and if you listen to military experts, Iran is playing the long game. They're not even using all of their bombs. Meantime, countries are struggling because of the blockade in the Strait of Hormuz. I mean, forgive me, this is just all so overwhelming. I couldn't help but look at this. I'm looking at this jewelry. Oh, is that a real diamond? Yes. Where's the woman who said I need to get, I'm worried about these farmers. They don't even have food. All right. So, they have accused Hegseth of war crimes because when he said, we'll give you no quarter, that's a war crime. Because even during World War II, the big, World War II, when really the whole war was out fighting with each other, the whole world was fighting with each other. There was, if a soldier waved a white flag or gave up, you weren't supposed to kill them. Okay, you're not supposed to kill them. It is considered a war crime, and a lot of other things are considered war crimes. Well, I have a video, and I'm just going to warn you. I mean, I didn't like listening to it, but I think it's important. The mother of one of the children of one of the little girls, two of the little girls that were killed in the bombing early on in the war, I think on the first night, spoke before the United Nations today on war crimes, on war crime acts. And the United States says they're investigating. Here's what I've read and heard, that it was an AI error, the bombing was aimed at hitting the Iranian Guard, but that the building that the school was housed in wasn't always a school. They were using older maps or older something, and that it was an error from the computer, from our maps. And I know somebody said, well, that's why we don't depend on AI. That's why we double check and we triple check before we bomb. I think it was Malcolm Nance, who I follow and listen to every morning. Here's just a warning, and it's sad. Here's the mother, and here's a story on that bombing.
As they walked out the door, they simply said, "Mum, come pick us up after school." That simple sentence now repeats in my mind 1,000 times, and each time my heart burns with pain. No mother ever thinks she will send her child off to school with a smile, only to be met with silence.
Transparently and thoroughly to determine the facts and lay the basis for accountability. Senior U.S. officials have said the strike is under investigation. I call for that process to be concluded as soon as possible and for its findings to be made public. There must be justice for the terrible harm done.
The attack on Shajarat al-Libya was not a mere incident nor a miscalculation. At a time when the American-Israeli aggressors, in their own assertions, possess the most advanced technologies and the highest precision military and data systems, no one can believe that the attack on the school was anything other than deliberate and intentional.
All right, God, we're bombing civilians, and we bombed Iraq. I don't know. It's not going well. This is a missile launched at Israel from Yemen now. Says Israeli military as Iran war enters second month. Second month, folks. Who knows what's going to happen next? I'm watching. I will. I reset up my system here so that I can go live faster, but I've still got some things to work out, so my lights are bad. That's what's going on. I mean, bottom line, yeah, there's a lot of bombing going on. Israel going into Lebanon, United States bombing Iraq. Now the lead story, that was this from me. Middle East crisis strike reportedly injures 12 American soldiers. Rubio says it's not going to go on for months. It's already gone on 2 months. That's it. That's for me. That's it for me. I just want to say thank you. Thanks for being here. Congress is worthless. I mean, I covered Congress for years. That's my beat. I've never seen a Congress this unorganized and this weak. The House, and why I say that Mike Johnson's the worst speaker in history is because he does not manage. The Speaker of the House is designed, his job or her job is to manage legislation, and he doesn't do it. All he does is, Trump's ass. And he has a job, and it's very important for the Constitution of the United States. So he has weakened our country. He's weakened the Constitution. We shouldn't, for any reason whatsoever, be bombing Iraq. If there are insurgents in Iraq that we want to get, that's why we have a CIA. I'm not, saying anything that everybody doesn't know. We have a CIA to take care of stuff like that. We don't bomb. You don't just go bomb and then bomb a hospital and then break a treaty. That's why we need a Congress, not just let one man who wakes up, who's speaking before the Saudis tonight while we're at war. You know, that's why Mike Johnson's weak. That's why the Congress is weak, because they rubber stamp the president, and that's not the job. That's not their job. And they passed that big bill, which is a big freaking mess, that cut off people from health care. Okay, cut off Americans from health care. And they let the tariffs go through. But thank God the Supreme Court did something about it. But where's the money? Trump says he's not giving back the tariff money. I want my money back. I paid, $25 for a cord. It was $7. And, Best Buy said we had to jack it up because of tariffs. It's like, liars. I said, I know you have a cord back there, and this cord's been back there for a long time. She said, don't yell at me. I said, you're right. God, you're right. So, yeah, it's just frustrating, and I need gas. So, yeah, Congress is on 2-week break. I'll be back tomorrow with live. Tomorrow's No King's Day. It's going to be big. And I will be back. Thanks. Please subscribe to my channel. Are you stupid? Worst speaker in history. Actually, no, I'm not. I am not one of those low IQ people. Sorry to tell you. Because if I were dumber, I'd be happier. You notice how dumb people are really kind of happy? Oh, I have lived on the border since I was in, trying to kill us all the time. I understand your views and others. Look, I have a guy on TikTok. Oh, are you just because? Sorry, I warned you about my dog. My dog is choking. Jack. He's a Shih Tzu, so he's got one of those little noses, and every now and then he kind of needs to blow his nose. But he's been a bad boy tonight because he's been running around with the cat treats in his mouth. It's the cat treat box, and he won't let the cats have it. But anyway, yeah, I'm all for border security. 100%. We need legislation, but we don't need people going around shooting people in the street. Period. We need to follow the rule of law. Yeah. Anyway, it's a mess. What am I going to say? Yeah. Johnson, look, study your speakers, dude. I have. Study your speakers. Look at the best speakers in history and look at Mike Johnson. The guy is a worthless. He's just a yes man. That's not his job. Okay. Congress works for us. Congress does not work for the executive branch. Okay. Congress works for the people. That's why they're up every 2 years. We can get rid of them after 2 years. But some people are in a cult. And some people think, oh, I'm going to vote for this guy because he says he's not going to get us into any wars. Lie. He's going to bring down prices. Lie. Jacked up prices with the tariffs. That's a tax. I hate to say it every day. We're at war, man. People are dying. He's a liar. Why go to war? They were negotiating with us, just like Obama negotiated a settlement with them. That's just really unbelievable. And we all need to vote. And I think that bill to destroy women's rights to vote, because every woman who took her husband's name was going to have to find her original birth certificate and find her marriage license. They were going to purge all voter rolls. Read Project 2025. It's in Project 2025. This was a plan. They had a plan. And and it's like they put it right out there. And I don't know. I guess some people didn't care to read it. Some of us tried to tell you. I mean, I did. I produced a whole bunch of videos on it, but I only have 3 subscribers. Now I'm almost at a point where I have more subscribers. So I hope that you guys subscribe. All right, I'll see you tomorrow. I'll be here for No King's Day. If you hate me, tune in. Maybe I'll come over to your. Oh, I was going to tell you, there's this dude that I really like. He follows me on TikTok. I really like him. He and I don't agree on anything, but we communicate with one another back and forth. He sends me videos. I send him videos. I really like him. And I might go to TikTok right now and do a live. Anyway, we don't agree. He lives on the border. We don't agree on things, but we talk. We talk and we share stuff, and he tells me about stuff going on there. And he was very for Trump, and because Trump promised to close the border. I don't like violence. I don't like people being beaten. I like the law. You think someone's a criminal or crook, you arrest them. You go to due process, you try and get rid of them. You deport them. Not put them in prison for a really long time. Not torture them in prison. You take them in custody and you deport them. No, don't build any prisons. We don't need any more prisons. Hold them someplace for a day or two and then get rid of them. There's money for that. Why are we building prisons when there's money to deport them right away? Why? Cruelty. They want to spread the message. They've spread the message. Farmers can't get workers. So, yeah, accomplished. Mission accomplished. Let's move on. If Trump says mission is accomplished, we're bombing him. Let's get out and move on before more people die. All right? Read Sun Tzu, The Art of War. Thanks for being here. Please subscribe. I'll be back tomorrow. I appreciate you all. Thanks so much for putting up with me. We need cities that are designed around the border, both sides, many good people. Thank you. Gosh, yes. Thank you. Thank you for being smart. All right. You have no clue, nobody's listening to you. That's what works for me. That nobody's listening to me. I do have a clue, though. All right, thanks. Take care.